Well. Ah, ah, ah. Good to see everybody. Welcome to Friday. It's not good morning, although it is good morning for Tech. I think Tech Protect's just waking up. I see him there in the chat. Good to see everybody. Hello, Ms. Anna G. It is nice to see everybody here on the show. Let's all give a tip of the hat to our big supporter, Mr. Eddie Torres, over with the original GODZ of War. I'll talk to you guys about that later. If you're curious how to get your name up on the screen and all that good stuff, we can talk about that. But for today, let's kick off our weekend talking about other stuff. Hang on a minute. Let me just bring this up. Let's begin. Well, what's going on, fellas? What are you up to? What you buying? What you selling? Not two back-to-back streams, Tech. We did a horses stream last night, which we'll talk about in just a second. That game is doing well. And then we did a Gabbin and Games yesterday. Addy Pie says play some horses today. We finished it. I mean, it's one of the very few, if maybe only, games I've actually finished this year. It's only a 2-hour game though, so. But hell, we'll talk about it now. I read a story. This is the game, if you don't know, that has gotten banned on Steam and Epic, and it was banned on a Humble Bundle for a small amount of time. And but they put it back up. But I got it on Good Old Games. It's the bestseller on Good Old Games right now. And it's a very weird game. It is about. Did I finish Elden Ring this year? Was that this year? Maybe. I know I finished it recently. Anyway, it was a very interesting game. It's a first-person kind of horror game. You play this guy that comes to work on this guy's farm, and relatively quickly you understand that the farm is a farm of humans that have been turned into horses because they're wearing horse masks. They're not wearing any clothes, and it gets weirder and weirder from there. And, you know, I will say that I enjoyed it. It's certainly one of the most interesting games I've played all year. And in that, it may very well be one of my top 10 games of the year just because it's so unique and interesting. It's not trying to be shock value. I mean, it might be trying to be shock value, but it's not just like horror shock or anything like that. It is shocking and weird, but it's not like that's the only reason it exists. It's clear it's trying to communicate the idea about not being a conformist and the danger of conformity and the value of fighting back, but also the dangers of fighting back from the status quo. I don't think it succeeds all that much in that. Most of that is just kind of a little piece of dialogue that you get from one of the characters. But the rest of the game just sort of plays like a, what the fuck is this game I'm playing? It reminds me of this game this one-man band made a while ago, which I really enjoyed. It was actually, he had been in a cult, and he made a game about his experience in this cult. I think it might have been called Sagebrush or something, very small indie game. It's got that kind of flavor to it, but it's obviously weirder than that. And there's nudity and sex in it and all that stuff, although the bits and berries and boops and bobs are pixeled out, so you know, I'm not worried about putting it up on YouTube. We recorded our playthrough last night. It'll be going up on YouTube this weekend. It was cool, but I will agree with Alyssa Mercante, which, by the way, anytime I agree with Alyssa Mercante, inevitably somebody hits me up in the comments, she's not going to sleep with you, bro. It's like, first off, I don't want to sleep with her. Nothing wrong with her. She's a nice lady, pretty lady and everything, but she's not my cup of tea. And I'm probably not her cup of tea. But you can't, this is how misogynistic some of these fucking gamers are. You can't even agree with a woman on, I mean, I know that's them trying to insult and troll, but it's just like, dude, she's got a point. And her point on horses was, there's, you know, it's not a lot here in terms of like, it's become this big, cause for developers and, journalists and gamers, like, we must fight for the art form, and that's great. I agree with that, but it's a cool game and it's really weird, but I think it's important not to go into it thinking that you're going to be getting this kind of deep look into anti-fascism or they're using the play mechanics that when you're done, you're just shaking because it's so what it reveals about humanity. I mean, it's being talked about with that kind of flowery prose, and I just don't think that's the kind of game it is. But it is cool. We also found out how much money it costs to make because we were looking at it last night. It's clearly a very kind of, low res. There's like 5 people working on it, mostly full time. And we're like, I wonder what this costs to make. And the guy had to borrow half of what they needed, he said. And that was, I guess they needed $100,000. He said they've earned back half of that already. So this game was probably, when all is said and done, anywhere from 150 to 250K, which makes sense. But it's it's good. It's worth playing for sure. But it was fun. It was a fun stream to do. Absolutely. Speaking of, last night, horses was our Gabbin and Games goal. Tonight, our Gabbin and Games goal is, if we can get up to $150 in super chats, we are going to watch the EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, one of the most influential video game magazines of all time, no longer in business. Somebody made like an hour-and-a-half documentary. It's up on YouTube. We are going to watch it together if we can get to our goals. So the super chats will be going there tonight. Hopefully you guys will be interested in helping us reach that goal, or even joining one of our new member tiers. If you join at the Calypso Cult level, $9.99 a month, or above, there are a couple tiers above it, you can attend tomorrow's 11 a.m. Jaffe Plays Jaffe, where I will be playing for the first time since 2005. The Hydra level, I haven't played God of War at all since 2005, except a very brief test of streaming. I'll be playing the whole Hydra level. We'll be doing Q&A. I'll be giving you behind-the-scenes tales and stories on it, showing you some concept art. Well, I wouldn't call it concept art. I'll show you my scribbles when I was designing the game. So it should be a lot of fun. If you're $9.99, you can come in, you can chat. It'll be in the Discord. And if you're at the GODZ Of War, which is $14.99, you can be on camera and or on mic and just be part of the conversation. So that is all tomorrow. Addy Pie, yes, we absolutely streamed it on Discord, but I made a copy of it, and then I'm going to put it up on YouTube this weekend. Okay, hey, thank you, K-Nubs. We appreciate that. He says, sign me up for that. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about the documentary, but thank you for that, buddy. You're getting us close. We are already 666. We already 666% of the way, with the help of good Sir K-Nubs, which we very much appreciate. When y'all sand the horse stream, I thought you streamed... Oh, I see. I was going to stream Anthony yesterday with RTU, and then he had some chore shit come up he had to deal with, and we agreed to reschedule. So I'm waiting for him to get back to me and tell me when he would like to do that. But I'm looking forward to it. We're going to play a shooter that he's really, really fond of that I'd never even heard about it. So... Okay, but anyway, that's horses. It's worth your time. I'm glad it's doing well. Game Informer put up an article, My Delightful Delinquents. They put up an article and they says, look, hey, it's the weekend. What are you going to play this weekend, right? And then they gave you their list. I'll tell you what I'm playing. I want to know what you're playing. But I'll tell you, though, it's interesting. Metroid's at the top of their list. A lot of people are playing it. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it. I will say what I don't understand about Metroid, though, is I have seen footage of this game where it looks horrible, which is the desert sequence. It looks like poop. I'm like, this looks like a fucking mobile game from 10 years ago. But then I've also seen other footage online of people playing it where I'm like, holy shit, this thing looks beautiful. So I don't know why it's so inconsistent visually, but not that it matters. And I also didn't know that you can get it and play it on the Switch 1. So depending on how my weekend goes, I may play Metroid on my Switch 1 because I do not have a Switch 2 and I don't really have a desire to buy one. I may play it on the Switch 1, or maybe I'll get a Switch 2. We'll see. But we'll see. But anyway, a lot of people are playing that this weekend. We'll see how that goes. But they're
Whispers of danger everywhere. What's your plan to outsmart those sneaky enemies? Share your thoughts.
I have no idea what that is, by the way. Somewhere along the lines, I installed something on this OBS, and I think it's their AI that like recognizes the games that you're playing. And then it's just kind of like, oh, it talks to you about, I don't know what the fuck it is. But every now and then on every stream, since I've been getting back to Streamlabs OBS, she just says shit. So that's what that is, if you're curious. But anyway, David Seeger says the Metal Gear Solid 2 EGM cover art is burned into my memory. Thank you for that super chat, buddy. We appreciate it very, very much. I will tell you about that. This EGM cover that I chose to put up here is obviously, you know, Twisted Metal. And I remember when we got that cover, I remember those guys came out to Utah to meet the team and interview us and play the game. And it was the neatest thing in my life. We had never been on a cover of a magazine up until that point. And it was like, what in the fuck? This is the coolest thing. And then we ended up getting their Game of the Year award, which I was just like, are you shitting me? Because this game came out the same year that Yoshi's Island came out, which is the best Yoshi's game they've ever made, the original. And I want to say it came out the same year as Chrono Trigger. So I don't certainly think it was the best game of that year, but it was nice to get the award. You know what I'm saying? Addy Pie says, well, when are you going to make your Game of the Year award predictions? I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. I care about my list, which I will share with you guys probably as part of the Game Awards or a separate thing. Although I may wait until December 31st, because why the fuck not? Because then the year is over. Right now, there was no time for people voting to really understand the brilliance that was Arc Raiders. There was no ability for them to play horses. And the idea that it's like, well, you missed the cutoff. Fuck you. It's the best games of 2026. You can't wait and do your show. I know why. Look, they do it in November, and they have the cutoff in October or November because, you know, they want the marketing dollars for Christmas. The better show for gamers would be waiting. But it's not actually what that is. We know that. And Keely's a smart business guy. He's done really well. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun to watch, but let's be clear. That's what's going on there. But I will, if you want my predictions, I think, you know, here's what I think. Expedition 33 is going to run away with all the awards. It'll certainly get Game of the Year award at the show next week. It's Thursday. But I also was this close to trying to get on, not me, because they know me, but get, like, you know, a nice looking lady. Hey, Sarah, can you shut that and take Courage with you? I was this close to getting a nice looking lady to sort of almost like Howard Stern used to do. Send somebody to the red carpet, get press credentials for this person. And I was going to have her just ask people, you know, just kind of like what I did with P. Turtle when I made up some shit about Starfield just to prove he had not played it. These are the people walking that red carpet that voted and nominated. And I would like her to ask just bullshit questions about Expedition 33 to see if they'd played it. Like, oh my God, that game. Do you remember, though, when the painter, she left her easel and that opera music played? And I guarantee you 80% of them would be like, oh my God. They didn't play it. They certainly didn't fucking finish it, 90% of them. So the whole thing's bullshit. But it's still fun. And Jeff puts on a good show, and I'm looking forward to some trailers. I'm looking forward to seeing this rumored Star Wars Total War game. Hang on a minute. Oh no. Traffic's really bad in our neighborhood. They had to close this freeway due to a jumper on the overpass. Oh no. Well, I hope he's okay, or she. Oh no. Hang on. Oh. That's terrible. Obviously, it's terrible. Poor person. What a poor person. My heart goes out to him. Awesome Tatum, thank you for the super chat. Awesome Tatum, along with David Seeger and our good friend K-Nubs, kicks us up. We're 11% of the way there. Thank you so much, Awesome, to watching the documentary. Let's watch that goddamn EGM documentary, Beers on Tech. You goddamn right. So Awesome Tatum says he's playing Metroid, Thief VR, and Routine. Well, that's somebody, TJM says somebody check on Tech. You goddamn right. That is a game I am going to look at this weekend, Routine. Here it is on your screen. It's on Game Pass right now. I think it's sitting at a 77, 78 on Metacritic. People seem to like it. It is a survival horror shooter that takes place on the moon. I'll read you just what Game Informer says. I can't overstate how tactile routine is. You walk around and tinker with computers, your cat device, documents, buttons, and more. Everything is obscured in mystery and bathed in a beautiful 70s visual style reminiscent of Alien. Maybe I'll play this game this weekend and stream it. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of indie darling weebs, says Eternal, are going to be disappointed. External 33 did all right for a new IP, but it's not going to beat the heavy hitters. Oh, I think it will. I haven't even played it. I've played maybe 20 minutes of it. I'm not saying it because I believe, oh, no, you're wrong. It's so fucking great. It's just how these people are. It's how most people are, which is to say, you know, they follow the herd and they vote with the herd. And they just kind of go along to get along. Nobody's playing that shit. No, hell, I'll tell you something. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm getting a text that says, this has been going on, this jumper, since 11 a.m. It's still going on, thank God. My client, this is from a friend of mine who lives in Del Mar, says she now hears helicopters around the scenes. This shit's still going on. I'm not knocking it. Lennon says Expedition 33 is Oscar bait through and through. I have nothing bad to say about the game. I just haven't spent any time with it, and so I don't really know, what I think about it. Yeah, David Seeger liked it. He says he's not big into RPGs, but I thought it was great. There you go. But yeah, so Routine is on my list. I will be playing the Season 1 of Call of Duty this weekend, which I have not gotten around to yet. Obviously, again, here we are again with Game Informer saying, hey, fellas, play Metroid Prime. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, I am loving. I played a little bit of it on the show yesterday. It is absolutely not something you need to, if you're not a Marvel fan or a comic book fan, and not even MCU, but comics, that's where the sweet spot is. This is a fan service game through and through, and it is delightful. But if you're just looking for another beat 'em up, you probably have a better time with like River City Girls 2 or whatever. But it is wonderful fan service for an old Marvel fan like me. So I will be trying to finish that. I don't have a Switch 2, so no Kirby. I don't know what the fuck this is, Detective Instinct, but they say it's good. And then there's Guild War. Okay, there's a lot. Octopath Traveler 0 just came out. And I'm playing Unicorn Overlord a lot as well. I'm trying to finish that again. So there's a lot going on. Somebody in the chat earlier was saying that they were playing Darksiders 2. I played Darksiders 1, and I thought it was the knees bees. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. But I haven't really ever gotten around to 2. So that's what I would say. But I'm looking for, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TJM, is another good one to play if you're not really a Marvel fan. I think it's from the same group. And Machine is right. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is on Game Pass too. Okay. By the way, I want to remind you, this stream will run for about another hour for non-members. Let me make that work real quick. Members only live stream in 1 hour. Oh, it won't let me do that. Okay, I'll put it up in an hour. And if you are a member at the $2.99 tier, you can watch the last half of the stream, the second part of the stream with us. Otherwise, it goes behind a paywall. And if you don't have time to watch it, but you are a member at $2.99 or above, you can then watch it video on demand right when it's over. So if you want to get the full Gabbin and Games experience, Sarah, can you shut my door that your dog opened like a velociraptor? If you want to get the full experience, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. I have like 20 hours in and shit's boring as hell. I think he's talking about, what game is that? The ninja fucking game from I don't know what he's talking about. Ghost of Yote. I want to play Ghost of Yote. Everybody says it's great. Anyway. Okay. All right, let's move forward. What are we talking about today? We'll go over to that in a minute. But no, I don't know why anybody would hear what I just said and go, oh, are you not enjoying Marvel Cosmic Invasion? No, I love it. I'm having a great time with it. It's delightful. Hello, RPG. Listen to this. Warner Brothers, which I have hated since it was purchased by Discovery and then run by that David Zaslav idiot. who I just think is a terrible executive. I think he's run a bunch of their studios into the ground. I think he is probably responsible for the Suicide Squad and really taking their game development and trying to just be a total clueless executive as these people are. And they have been for sale. Now, the thing we should, whether you love the fact that it looks like Netflix won the bidding war. Obviously, there's a bunch of stuff, just like Activision had to deal with Microsoft. It's an $82 billion, $87 billion, something like that offer. There is a lot of hoops that have to get jumped through in order to have this approved by the various powers that be. And here's the dog again. Hello, buddy. But if it passes, if it goes through, Netflix will be the proud owner of Warner Brothers. Now, I think that is good. I think that is very, very good as it relates to the game studios, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But we should all breathe two sighs of relief. Alexa, set timer for 1 hour. Alexa, set timer for 1 hour.
1 hour timer started.
Okay. But so what? Hey, AKBD. I'm just going to call you AK-47. AK-47, welcome to Diet Coke Commanders, buddy. We love having you here. That means that you are now going to be able to watch all the shows here, be part of all the members-only chats on YouTube, and in a week after our God of War stream tomorrow, it'll be live on video on demand for all Diet Coke Commando tier and above. So welcome to the fold. We appreciate you being here. So listen now, two sides of relief. One is because Warner Brothers Discovery, like Machine says, has been an absolute shit show. An absolute shit show with this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to treat talent. He doesn't really give a fuck about the customer. He's just a fucking empty suit, and I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad he's gone. But the other thing is Saudi Arabia was very fucking close. Some of their execs in Warner Brothers flew out to Saudi Arabia to hear the pitch. We were pretty close to having Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Sub-Zero, all of these characters we love. A lot of them are fucking American icons that really represent, look, America ain't clean. America's got problems, but these characters represent, a lot of them, the best of what the country can be, has been, could be. I don't want Saudi Arabia having control of Superman. I just fucking don't. So I'm glad for that. But I'm really glad because the guy who runs, now all of these people, any billionaire is bad in my opinion. I'm part of that brigade. Sorry. I'm part of that brigade. But any of these CEOs are nasty pieces of work. You don't get to that position without being in most cases, probably a pretty bad person. Eddie Torres says America's number one. Number one at what? I'm not saying you're wrong. Although, hey, Eddie, come on. How can, look, boom. Mega thanks to Big Bad Eddie Torres. He's the only one that hung in there at the Gods of War. We're going to be moving those memberships over to Patreon, but if you're a God of War member or above, not Gods of War with a Z, it's a long story, you get to be the presenters of the show, which I sure do fucking appreciate. Thank you, Eddie. And also welcome Crazed Canuck TTV to the Diet Coke Commanders. I love your avatar. It's very cool. It's very Steven Universe. Good to have you here, pal. Thank you, sir. Okay. But this guy who runs Netflix, Ted Soros, I think is his name. Ted Sarandos, sorry. He gave an interview. And again, I don't trust these guys or like these guys any farther than I can fucking throw these motherfuckers, which is not far. But what I will say about the guy is he does seem to care, and he talks the talk about caring about the consumer, but ultimately it's because it's a data-driven company and they care about following the data, and they really understand what the data says about the consumer better than most anyone else. And so that is why, people who are film aficionados are going to hate this, but they were interviewing him for Time, and he said, Netflix is a very consumer, this is going to relate to games, I promise. Netflix is a very consumer-focused company. We really do care that we deliver the program to you in a way that you want to watch it. Using the struggling global box office as an example, he said, what does that say? What is the consumer trying to tell us? That they'd like to watch movies at home, thank you. The studios and theaters are duking it out over trying to preserve the 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience of just loving a movie. And then he also says, we're in a period of transition. Folks grew up thinking, I want to make movies on a big screen and have strangers watch them in a theater and people cry and sold out shows. He says it's an outdated concept. Movie theaters, he says, most people, if you're in Manhattan, you can walk down the street and see a movie. Most of the country can't, okay? So I agree with this guy. I think as much as I love movies, I grew up wanting to be a filmmaker. I understand the theater experience has a great deal of value, blah, 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 blah. But I also think a lot of it is romanticizing it, and the customer is speaking and saying, we're good watching it at home. We're totally good watching it at home, right? The reason I bring this up as it relates to video games is the fact that if you look at a lot of the choices that Netflix has been making, a lot of the anime that they're doing, whether you love it or hate it, they're investing a lot in animation because the consumer wants it. You're not going to get Warner Brothers taking that many swings at that. You're not going to get Sony even, although they're starting to because of the success of Spider-Man and whatnot. But they saw that before anyone else, and they invested heavily in that. They're still making small little rom-coms that the big studios aren't making, right? Their game studios weren't really working, but even what they've done with their game studios, which has said, you know what, a lot of people who watch Netflix, they like the party games. They like sitting around with their family and playing Wordle and Song Pop Chat and all that shit. They've doubled down on that, and their new suite of games that everybody can play on their phone and on the big TV are really, really fun. You should try them for this Christmas if you have Netflix. So I think these guys getting a hold of, take Batman. The only reason Suicide Squad, which I actually liked for what it was, but I know most people despised it, the only reason that game ended up being the game that was because Rocksteady, the leaders left. They're like, we don't want to deal with this shit. They were put into the corporate rigmarole. And they're like, this is not what we do. I absolutely think that Netflix current leadership is going to look at Rocksteady and look at the fan base and go, well, yeah, these guys fucking want a Batman game. They want another Arkham game from these guys. Boom, let's do it. They can make now, I'm playing... what was the game we were playing recently that somebody said this would make a really good Stranger Things game? Stranger Things, if you love Stranger Things, and I do, is a huge fucking franchise, a huge epic piece of lore that you can make an amazing action RPG about, right? There's a lot of cool stuff that they could do. Getting Mortal Kombat, they could do the Mortal Kombat movies, getting Mortal Kombat. And then they also said they're going to take the movie window and shrink it. So if your movie opens in the theater, they're going to try and make it come to Netflix sooner. I think this is good. I don't like corporations. I don't like CEOs. I don't like any of this shit. But given how much I love these properties, given how much I love Mortal Kombat, and I love all the DC characters, I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but whatever. And given how much crap that Warner Brothers has been dealing with since Discovery took over, I think this is going to be good for geek fans. That's what I would fucking say. Lennon says, I'm interested if they do a cloud gaming service. They kind of already have that. You can play on your phone. Well, I know YouTube has that, but I think Netflix has also started sending some of their games directly to your TV and phone without needing a download, I believe. The Mighty Silverback says, in fairness, Jaffe, we all thought that would happen to Bethesda with Microsoft, but here we are. No Fallout, no Elder Scrolls. Microsoft, to their credit, whether or not, look, I don't like a lot of the games. I think Microsoft's done a better job this year at putting out more games than Sony, and most of them are decent enough, if not great. But, Bethesda they wanted to make Starfield, they made Starfield. They wanted to make Indiana Jones, they made Indiana Jones. They're going to be making another Elder Scrolls. They're going to be making another Fallout. But Microsoft, love them or hate them, they've I would argue they've been too friendly with the developers, letting them make whatever the fuck they want. So I don't know if I would agree with you that the Bethesda deal, when they got purchased by Microsoft, is indicative of how this shit goes south. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. So, listen, Crow Duck has gifted a membership to the Diet Soda Soldiers or Diet Coke Commanders. I'm not sure, but it goes to Michael Kitching. Wouldn't that be great if Michael Kitching was hate watching? He's like, I don't want this fucking thing. Either way, Michael Kitching, welcome. And more importantly, or as importantly, Croduck, thank you so much for your generosity. We appreciate it. And then David Seeger gets us higher and higher. Higher we climb to our EGM documentary watch party. Might be happening tonight. Drops a 5 spot, says Bruce Wayne paid for this super chat to prove billionaires aren't all bad. Hey, Bruce Wayne's one of the few ones, but he had to be crazy to not be bad. So, yeah, no. Shut up, Eternal. Eternal says they lucked into a good indie game. What are you talking about? I am one of the biggest Indiana Jones fans you will ever know. You will ever fucking know. And I'm telling you, that game was made with passion, love, and a genuine understanding of that brand. In fact, Eternal, I would tell you this. I would tell you that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the best Indiana Jones story told since Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's certainly better than the last two, better than Temple of Doom. I've read a bunch of the novels, and it's a little bit better than Last Crusade. So no, just no is what I would say. Also, where's your membership, you son of a bitch? Microsoft did nothing with Crash. They don't deserve him or Banjo, says Eddie T. Well, they're not done yet. But you're right. I expected Toys for Bob to be making a new Crash game. So the indie Atari game is pretty good. That's true. But I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm talking about the story. Like, you could take the story of Indiana Jones The Great Circle and you could make it into a feature film, and it would be great. It would be absolutely great. So that's what I would say. Anyway, so I'm excited for this, but, time will tell. Look what Colin Moriarty tweeted out, because this is the big, it's not even an elephant in the room. Well, it is the elephant. I don't know if it's an elephant. Assumes everybody knows it, but they're not talking about it. People have been talking about this for a while. But this is the unavoidable truth about video games right now. Colin tweeted this out. He says there are too many studios making too many games for few consumers that have too little time. It's survival of the fittest at its very essence. N64 had fewer than 400 games. PS2 got into several thousand. There's 18,000 games published on Steam in 2025. It's math, he says. Now, here's my question. I played and finished and had a very satisfying time last night playing horses, right? And it's good, right? And I'm not saying there should be like a law, like, oh, games have to only be 2 hours, right? Make the epics you want to make. But I don't know, man. It cost me $5. I would have been okay paying up to $9 for it. And I finished it, and I'm happy with it. I don't know, man. I guess here's my question. Colin is absolutely right. It's the math, right? And so ultimately, something's got to change. Something's got to fucking change, whether or not it's just more and more games fail. Okay. Or the games change to work with the market that exists. And the market that exists right now, I would suggest the vast majority of games, they kind of rethink their runtime. If you can step outside of yourself for a couple of minutes, I know it's hard to break patterns, but if you step outside of it, like if you were an alien looking at video games on Earth, you'd go, well, they spend all this money and the games most single player games have an abysmal low completion rate, which means the majority almost never completes a video game, but they still spend a huge amount of money on that content no one's ever going to see for the most part. I would rather they continue making lots of games like they're making, and they're 2 to 4 hours long. I would much rather see that happen than what we are seeing here. Because, most of these games overstay their welcome. You know they do. Not all of them, but most of them. Most of them do. All right, Awesome Tatum. Good to see you, buddy. I like a lot of AA games these days because they can be finished in a weekend, like the good old Blockbuster days, says Eddie T. Right. Absolutely right. It is a ridiculous It is a ridiculous assumption that this is sustainable. So something's going to change. I would prefer people still have the same number of people making games and number of games, but they're just shorter. It's fucking, I mean, goddamn, did Ragnarok really need to be as long as it fucking was? You know, I mean, I'm thinking half the games I play don't need to be as long as they are, if not more. By the way, I want to say thank you so much to Croduck. Croduck has also stepped up again with his mighty, mighty bank account, and he bought himself 5 gratituders. Gift memberships. Thank you so much. Eternal got one. Doug got one. Ozzy Fan, E-Magicians, and the guy who's bored. Thank you for that, Croduck. Very, very much appreciated. Don't forget, Jaffe Plays Jaffe's coming up tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Playing the Hydra level of one of the best games ever made, God of War. Oh, that I designed. I know it. That's tomorrow. And also don't forget the EGM documentary watch party. We are 14% from our goal. Let's get that goal hit tonight, my dear delightful delinquents. It would be appreciated, and it will be a lot of fun. Hell, I'll even take some pot while we're watching it. And I'll tell you some I don't know if I have any behind-the-scenes EGM stories, do I? They were always pretty good to me, actually. Lennon says, I'd rather make games episodic like TV shows. Focus on making each episode very engaging and have 10 episodes. Well, I'll give you a great example. Like I played for the first time Dispatch last night on the stream. And I really liked it. I don't feel compelled to go back and play the next episode, of which I think there's 7. I might, but the only reason I would go back is I'm like, I bought it. I might as well try the second episode. Because I feel like I get the gist of it, you know? The problem with, but they're doing well with episodic with that, but now the full game's out, so it is what it is. Okay. Anyway, we'll move on. I want to see this. I haven't watched this yet. Vinny, I don't know who Vinny is. Vin Sauce Clipbots says, Vinny rage quits Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's only 19 seconds. Let's see what pissed him off. Let's see if he gets as much hate as I do.
Oh, really? Oh, man, really?
Okay, I don't know enough about the... Oh, that was it. Whatever that was made him quit.
Oh, really? Oh, man, really?
Okay, I have no context for that. Koch says he's really enjoying the altars. I could not get into it. I hear the altars is great, but I played the first maybe hour of it and it just didn't connect with me, but everybody says it's great. Yeah, Rex Colt, you're not wrong. Days Gone overstayed its welcome. So long and boring. I loved Days Gone, but it was absolutely too motherfucking long of a video game. It just went on, and it's just dumb. I mean, it's one of those things that if we weren't so used to it, we could look at it with fresh eyes and go, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, why, it would be like people love movies, but people, the majority of people will walk out of a movie after an hour and 20 minutes when there's 80 minutes to go. And they just keep doing, it's like, well, why don't you change the way you're making the movies? I don't understand, but whatever. I want to talk about this because this is the dumbest thing. I don't want to pick on this guy. In fact, I'm not even going to show you who he is, but let me just say this. He's not a very well-known analyst. His title is Gaming Analyst, Infographics, Data Research, Financial Reports Breakdown. So, he's one of those kind of people talking about the game business. Oh, that just reminded me, though. I'm looking at his tweet, and he's got a bunch of PlayStation images. I got into the beta for that Marvel fighting game, which is running this weekend. I need to download that. I'm excited. I'll suck at it, but I'm excited. But anyway, this is what he says. I'm going to read you his tweet. He says, I have officially come to the bittersweet realization that as I learn more and more about games behind the scenes, the advancements in technology, the PlayStation 6 will be the dream console. This is what he says. PS5 will still have several great games, but PS6 will be the realization of dream potential for video games. Next gen, it will be commonplace to just talk to the NPCs through a mic, which is true, but you can do that now, and a normal conversation via AI instead of selecting options. Next gen will, all limiting factors almost for immersion will be removed. Developers will make decisions on graphics, art style, fidelity, and scale of the world because it's what they wanted, not because they were forced to use a certain art style to make the best of the hardware limits they have. This is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb. It's kind of like the thing of like, well, everything's going to run at 60. Everything's going to run at 120 frames in 4K. It's like every game, from the first game ever made to the most cutting edge game today, is a trade-off against fidelity and graphics and effects and frame rate and content. Just because you can have a machine right now that's 50 times powerful than the PS5 or the greatest super. You can have a machine that's 50 times powerful than the world's most powerful quantum computer that's hidden in a Defense Department basement somewhere. And you still would have to make concessions. There still would be challenges. There still would be limiting factors for immersion because every choice you make comes at the cost of another choice. That's just the nature of making video games. That's the nature of having scarcity, which you will always have. And I think it's because people think about games today and go, oh, well, can you imagine Breath of the Wild running on the PS6? It's like, yeah, but people don't want Breath of the Wild anymore. They want more. They want different. They want more interactive. They want more effects. They want it to look better. So I think this is so 15 or 12 on the playground, not the 15. If you're 15, you're on the playground. Unless you're with your friends and it's midnight and you're smoking. But you know what I'm saying? If you're hanging out with your buddies on the playground, fine. You can say this and it makes sense. You don't look like a moron. When you are an analyst in the game industry and you're saying this, I would just recommend don't follow this guy. Do not follow this guy because he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, Timbuktu said they said the same thing at E3 about Xbox 360. Yeah, it's all fucking marketing. But an analyst shouldn't be saying this. I don't believe it till I see Milo return on stage, says M Machine. Hey, Milo is doable now. Not Milo can actually be created now, but you know, they were a little ahead of their time. Let me jump over here real quick. 1 second, fellas. You know what I saw today? Because I have no shame when it comes to this. If you were well known in certain spaces like I am, you would search your name too on Twitter. Maybe you wouldn't, but I don't take any shame in it. People like to go, you searched your name? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I absolutely did. I'd like to know what people are saying about me. I'm curious about that. Okay, sorry. Well, so I searched my name on Twitter and I came across this account, which I had never heard of before. It's called Love or Hate Them, at Love or Hate Them. And what they do is, I'll just tell you the description of this. He says, I choose random Twitter accounts and make polls if you love or hate them or if you are indifferent. If you have a suggestion, DM me. They don't have any followers, but, you know, it came up. And somebody sent my name in. Do you love, like, or hate David Jaffe, or are you indifferent? And, you know, I'm a little proud of this. I'm a little proud of the answer, believe it or not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish my love was higher. It's not very high, and my hate is pretty high, even though I don't think I deserve it. But I'll show it to you. Let me fucking show it to you. And by the way, EGM document, is the EGM documentary watch party not enough for you? Do you need something else? You need another carrot for me to dangle to get the super chats rolling in? Let's go. Let's go. It's fucking payday. Let's bring the ducats home. Come on now. Do you love, like, or hate David Jaffe? All right, here we go. Like, 0%. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. I don't want to spoil the fun. 16.7% were indifferent to me, which means the remaining 80-ish% either love me or hate me. The number of people who love me. Yeah, change the background screen for $20. Absolutely. Whatever you want in the background, as long as it doesn't break terms of service, I'll pop it up there for 10 minutes for you. The number of people who hate me. Can you guess? Should I let you guess? Fuck it, I'll just tell you. The number of people on the internet that don't like me, according to this, 66.7%. 66.7%. 16.7% love me, though. I kind of like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish it wasn't so low on the love, but I kind of like that there's like, you know what? There's some ride or dies out there, and they love you based on who you really are, not one of the... Because I guarantee you, I could name some video game YouTube commentator people out there, and you'd go, oh, everybody loves them. Yeah, but they're vanilla as fuck. They're not telling you who they really are. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. So I just wanted to share that with you. And all the haters, go fuck yourself. They do have me wrong, Machine. Machine, thank you for the super chat. He says, it is payday. You're right. Here's $5. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate that. We're 18% of the way to the EGM watch party. Let's make it happen. Shut up, Lennon, you fuck. He says there were 6 votes for Jaffe. No, not 6 votes. The whole thing was 6. But still, the guy only has 2 followers. What do you want from me? But they really don't know, Realski. They don't know you, though. It's a lot more to love than hate. Yeah. If it was Corey Barlog, it would be love, because Corey never, Corey is a total professional. Corey's the kind of guy that if he was an actor, you would never know who he voted for, because he's smart. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's like, I'm not going to ruin my ability to make money by telling people that I might disagree with what they are, passionate about. I'm going to keep my fucking mouth shut. He's smart. But, whatever. Okay. Why is Crow Duck crying? What happened? Somebody hit him? You know what somebody said, though? I think it was Da Vinci. This pisses me off. Da Vinci in our members, he said, I quit the Discord, Jaffe. I'm still part of your show and stuff because people were mean to me. I got a bone to pick with our Discord sometime in the future. I really do. But here's what I'll tell you. We are going to put the $9.99 tier, and I'm going to have it set up tonight or tomorrow because that's where we're going to watch the God of War thing. That is going to be where I'm going to spend most of my time on Discord moving forward. It's going to have more content. It's going to be richer with behind the scenes footage and gameplay and all kinds, because I want it to be at least the part of the Discord I'm in. I think our Discord is so fucking vulgar, and it's so off-putting to new people. And that's fine. They can have that part of the Discord, but I want to make the part of the Discord I'm talking about more, more friendly, I guess. Yeah, because Darkness says the gaming community is toxic. I just think it's, there are people out there, and they're not bad people, that like to bust balls, and they like to just sort of push buttons. I'm one of them sometimes. But it's not a very good... It's not a pleasant place to be if you're not in on some of the jokes and shit. So... Look for that to be cleaned up, or at least at the $9.99 tier, because I don't want to deal with it. Your Discord is full of pussies, says One Pump Man. I put the Valentine's Day Elon Musk meme and someone took it down. I don't even know what it is. Let me Google it real quick. Just type in Elon Musk Valentine's Day. All right, hang on. Elon Musk. God damn it, Musk. God damn it, Jaffe, type. Musk. I am not. Oh my God. Fine. It's whatever. Happy Valentine's Day. Let me see. So it's the robot holding flowers? I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. I love games, but I hate the gamers, says Darkness. Look, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I don't hate anybody, but I find the gaming community online, it's disgusting. I've lost tolerance for it as I've gotten older. It's really, it's really not fun anymore. So, okay. I'm not going to talk about that. Let's go check out what is happening. Oh, here's something else. This is, the game Postal, which is not, that great of a game. None of them are. I've played a couple of them. But they had a new one coming out, and they decided to not publish it because some people got a bee in their bonnet about there being AI slop that the developer used. I am so fucking sick of these. Just shut up. Most of these people want to fucking be artists. That's what they want. They want to draw, and they're pissed. They're just pissed that, I want to draw, and now that I can't draw. And now it's taking my... Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It's going to suck for all of us till we figure it out. But stop. And the journalists are the worst because they just piggyback on this shit because they're losing their jobs from it too. But don't fucking tell me... I don't know if this game's good or bad. It's probably not very good. Most of the Postal games aren't. But don't tell me this game is shit just because some of the enemy sprites were drawn with fucking AI. Oh, well, they don't make interesting games anymore. Well, they're too expensive. We'll try to use AI to make it cheaper. Hey, you can't use AI. Well, fuck off then. What's wrong with this? It looks stupid and fun. I don't give a shit those characters were made with fucking AI. And nobody else should either. And if you really want to kind of whittle it down to the bare bones of this issue, you're not really being honest, right? Because there's a lot of things developers do and any creatives do that are not shortcuts, but to make their lives easier, to make their jobs easier, to let them focus on the more creative stuff or what they enjoy more, this or that or the other. And it was before AI. I was at the goddamn Mark Silvestri's Top Cow Comics the day they wheeled in the computers to move colorists off of actually coloring and inking on paper and doing it on the computer. Well, you didn't stop reading comics, did you? Well, suddenly, instead of, you have the leg of Wonder Woman that you're going to fill in and shade with actual ink. Oh, well, now you're going to do it with a digital paint program. You going to stop reading Wonder Woman? Shut up. It's just dumb. I agree that there's AI theft. That's a problem. I agree that we need universal basic income. That's a problem. But that's a different... I'm just so fucking... I'm not saying I'm like, I wanted to play this game. I'm so disappointed. There's a million games out there like this. Right. Mighty Silverback, rarely, but today he has a good point. He says, I don't care that my shoes were made with slaves or my phone or my computers, but I do care if game devs used AI. It's not a moral thing. It's just a reality of how I feel. Well, then own that. Own that. At least you're owning that. But most people are coming at it like it's AI slop. It's just crap. No, it's not. No, it really isn't. Yeah, I mean, look, Eddie T says, I remember the story of Bungie crunching during Halo 2 and a guy had a mental breakdown, walked out, and never returned. Yeah. Sorry. You guys want to overthrow capitalism? Give me a call. I'll be there with you. But in the meantime, that's what we got. And that's the system we're living in for the most part. So yeah, the people who work harder and work cheaper, we have decided as a culture, we're going to reward those people. And we do. So stop being such fucking hypocrites, postal haters. Yeah, I got them. Speaking of, I made this game. I'm gonna save what I'm working on now. It's really, really cool for the second part of the show coming up. But Anthony says people are complaining some AI art has 6 fingers. My grandma had the thumbs on her right hand. Her parents had it removed at birth. Yeah, it's true. This one's not great, but this is what's cool about AI for me as a one-time designer, right? Okay, Square Enix can't be bothered to pay testers, so they are replacing them with AI. So they will be 300 times more boring and dog shit. What are you kidding? What does that have to do with anything? the QA, they're not going to pay testers. They're going to let AI do it and the games are going to be worse? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But look how fast. I made this today. What it is, and again, this I'm not even going to give you, I'm not saying go buy it because it's great graphics or anything like it. But it's a Smash TV game, twin stick, and if you can survive for 60 seconds, now, is this a great game? No. Is it even a good idea? No. But it took me 10 minutes to try this. Now, this is not the main thing I want to show you. This is the first part. Okay, so after 30 more seconds, and all you're doing is trying to survive, I have 85% health. I spent 5 minutes. I could make this a lot better, but I started working on a different game. But I want to show you this. Because I just had this idea, and I'm like, I wonder if I could try this. And lo and behold, it said, yeah, here you go. It's cool. Let's try it. Okay, so right now it's just a very standard, relatively dull, which could be a lot better, but it's not. Smash TV, twin stick, whatever. Okay, so after 5 seconds, you survive the level, 2-1. And then they give you a trivia question based on video games. What is the name of the recurring enemy type in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time that is known for eating Link's equipment if he gets too close? Beamos, Wallmaster, or like? I'm pretty sure it's Beamos. Okay, so I click it. Oh, shit! It's the like. Okay, well, you lose your health if you get it wrong. But if you get it right, you have an option to upgrade weapons and things like that. So it's both a shooter, arcade shooter, but it's also a video game trivia game. I just thought it was neat to see if I could mix those things together, and lo and behold, it kind of sort of worked. Why is that doing that? Why is this thing here? Hang on a second. Here we go. I thought it was neat, but I'm working on another one. Oh, I agree with that, Eternal. There needs to be some legally enforceable regulations, of course. Yeah, no one disagrees. No one disagrees with that. Everybody is like, yeah, of course, we have to do better. Okay, there was a future game show. Hey, Robbie Suave, thank you, buddy. Thank you for that super chat. He's donated $9.99 to get us closer to our goal, 25%. Now, look, if we don't make the goal tonight, that's not a problem. We'll just keep rolling it on the shows until we do, because I would like to watch this. But Robbie Suave, thank you so much for getting us closer and closer to that delightful goal. It is very much appreciated. Again, as a reminder, tomorrow, God of War, 11 a.m., California time. Hope to see you there. I found when we moved a tower PC that I used at work, and I haven't had this thing plugged up in 6, 7, 8. I don't know how old this thing is, but my guess is that there's a lot of cool behind the scenes shit on there that I'm going to discover. I'm going to plug it in tonight and see. Beer Baron says people don't want AI making creative decisions for games, and they hire Sweet Baby to make all creative decisions for games. First off, they don't hire. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. It's just so frustrating, Beer. I love you, Beer Baron. I love you with all my heart and soul. But no one, this Sweet Baby Inc. having any kind of power in this industry is a ridiculous concept. They never did. People hired them. I mean, seriously, I've said this before. You think Sony Santa Monica, when they used Sweet Baby for God of War, now look, Sweet Baby could have come in and Sweet Baby could have said, hey man, we want all the characters to be black characters and lesbian black female characters, whatever. You think Sony Santa Monica was like, oh man, I think Eric Williams been working in video games for 20 years, was like, I finally get my shot, my seat in the captain's chair, but oh, thank God Sweet Baby showed up to tell me how to make my fucking game. Come on now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Jaffe, have you ever played Dreams from Media Molecule? Yeah, I played it. I thought it was really impressive. I thought it was really cool. But they were somebody in charge, whether it was at Media Molecule or at the upper ups at Sony, was very stubborn and very stupid. Because that thing, if that thing would have been allowed to be used with the mouse and keyboard, oh, but the move control is great once you learn it. Great. Shut up, you morons. Nobody wants to use the fucking move controllers. If you do, great. You'll get around, you'll figure it out. But in the meantime, let most people do what they want, which is control your beautiful engine with a fucking mouse and keyboard. That's A. B, the fact that they didn't agree to let people sell those games outside of the goddamn cockadoodie, you have to own Dreams to play a game in Dreams versus you can make it, you can monetize it. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's just dumb. But yeah, I played it. I was very impressed by it. It's very fucking cool. It's very fucking cool software. And I know that there is a Banjo-Kazooie game that just came out recently, and it looks great. I saw Dustin streaming it. We talked about it yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it looks like fucking here. Check it out real quick. Let me show it to you. Damn it. All right, here we go. Have you guys seen this? It's really, you wouldn't know. It looks like an update. Banjo-Kazooie Dreams PS5. Okay. Yeah, check this shit out, man. Full playthrough. Here we go. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but... I mean, what are you talking about? Isn't that amazing? It's an amazing piece of technology. They really screwed the pooch. I don't know, man. Sometimes I you know, and maybe that's the thing. People, well, I don't care. I'm not going to get into it. I love lots of the stuff done at Sony. I think this is brilliant. But let's just say I understand maybe why the culture that is there or was there last time I checked doesn't make it so the voices of reason could be heard about how stupid they handled Dreams. I think, well, Dustin tweeted it out. I don't know if he streamed his playthrough, but he definitely tweeted out him playing it. Yeah, and yeah, Sewer Lamb says the Dreams community was peak when they were still dropping updates. They put out a game that was like the train puzzle game, which was fucking awesome that you could only play in Dreams. But again, how stupid is that? What a dumb fucking typical Sony idiocy. If you want to play the games, we want to motivate people to work in Dreams. So you have to own the console, and then you have to buy the fucking software just to play somebody's fucking... Shut up. I mean, who said that was a good idea? I don't know. It's pretty dumb. But anyway, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to... here's my question. I'm going to put up a poll because let's see, members only live stream is going to start in 15 minutes. So if you want to stay on this stream and get to what we're doing with the second part, you need to be a Diet Coke Commando or higher. It's only going to cost you $2, $2.99. It also allows you a week from tomorrow to watch the video on demand of Jaffe Plays Jaffe while we do the Hydra level of God of War 2004. Okay, but after the 15 minutes, when we go private, I want to know what you guys want to do. Here are some options. What is part 2? We can watch the future games PC show together. We can make my dream Google Gemini game. I'm going to pitch it to you in a minute because I've already started working on it, but I want to start again. We can shoot this shit. Or lastly, we can explore game forums for news topics. I'll just say for topics to chat about. All right, there you go. There you go, right there. There's the poll. This will determine what we're going to do in 15 minutes when we start part 2. In the meantime, Warped Eye says, Merry Christmas, you filthy beast. Merry Christmas right back to you, sir. Thank you for that support. Warped Eye is our good pal, and he has brought us 34% of the way to the documentary watch party of the EGM documentary. EGM, of course, being one of the great video game magazines of all time. Regardless of how fast generative AI advances, says Eternal, that's why regulating it now matters. Oh, of course. Yeah, people don't. Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%. I'm with you 1,000 fucking percent. You have to regulate it, but there's a real problem regulating AI, which is the countries we're competing against will not regulate it, which means that they will get out there faster with things. And you already know how it's almost getting impossible to tell if video is AI or not these days, which means we start regulating it and we're going to have our shit slowed down. But China's not going to do that. Russia's not going to do that. North Korea is not going to do that. And suddenly, where does that leave us, right? With sort of fighting the war for information and facts. I just don't know. But it's a rough one. But what I do think is they shouldn't regulate it to make us uncompetitive, but maybe they should at least regulate the consumer versions of it. Like we get the government and the government's not regulated anyway. They've probably got AI 1,000 times better anyway, but we should definitely get the lawsuits in order. I agree with that 100%. Can I elaborate on what regulations would look like? Yeah. So I would say this. I would say that you can know what your system was trained on, or at least you can know what percentage. And if you can't, they need to be able to say, okay, this image that was created, this is how it was trained. And if that definition can be quantified and it's like, oh shit, so for example, if I just go to if I just go to this Google Gemini and I say, draw me Kratos from God of War in the style of J. Scott Campbell, who is a great comic book artist, right? Well, whether or not I wrote the word J. Scott Campbell, they should be able to figure out, okay, our art is trained at a percentage of this guy. Now, I wouldn't argue that that's very J. Scott Campbell anyway, but assuming it was, okay, like Spotify, he should get paid for the fact that they've used his art and his work to train people. But the other problem with it, though, honestly, did I show it to you? I don't know if I showed it to you. The other part of it that's kind of a real problem with it is, in some ways, it's an emotional complaint because, if you listen to like Billy Corgan, I don't remember what podcast he was on. He's like, dude, I sat when I was learning to write music and I sat and I ripped off and made tiny tweaks to like guitar riffs for my music. Just because you're doing it by hand and you're doing it with a computer, it's still kind of the same thing, isn't it? I mean, it's still, you're taking from other people and building on the backs of that. So, but I definitely think there should be some fairness in there, and I don't have a problem with that at all. But what if I ask the AI to describe a copyright image in great depth and ask it to create the description? I'm asking these because I actually think we've quite gone. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Some of the guardrails are pretty fucking good. Like this will let you do, Google will let you do anything for the most part in terms of copyright. ChatGPT will not. Like if I went and said, I want to make the same image, it would say no. We can't do it. But you know, I think it's a great tool. I think it's a great tool. I love it. Okay. Let's see where our poll is. We got half the audience wants to watch the future game show. That looks like it's going to be the winner. You guys don't want to see my, I'm going to pitch you my game. See if it changes anything. I'm going to pitch you my game. So I was working on this game earlier and the code got corrupted and I got to rewrite the prompt, but it was a top-down shooter set in a very crowded shopping mall. And I did it in 2D, so it was very abstract. The shoppers were green dots that were just moving around. And you were an assassin, and your target was moving through the crowds, and he had four bodyguards that rotated around him, like orbiting around him. And every time you shot, the crowd would readjust itself because it was like, oh my God, they're shooting at the mall. And if you killed a pedestrian, 2 cops would come out. And if you had up to 5 cops, then after 5 cops, they would start shooting at you and they could kill you. If you killed the target, the bodyguards would break away and start chasing you and shooting you. And you had to survive long enough to get into the spotlight of the helicopter that was your escape copter that was moving around. I had all this working. And then if the target survived long enough, like 90 seconds, a getaway car pulled up. And if he got in the getaway car and drove away, it was over and you lost. Right. And I was like, and it was really fun, and I was like, I kind of lost it and I'm so frustrated. I can't get it back. I don't think I can get it back. Let me see. Maybe I can, but I don't think so. Because sometimes you end up putting things in and it just kind of breaks. And then you're kind of fucked. But let me see if I can get this back. But anyway, we'll watch the game. We're going to watch the Future Games PC show after this. Is it like Bonanza Bros? I don't know what that is. What's Bonanza Bros, man? Never heard of such nonsense. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna rebuild that though. It was pretty cool. How'd the move go? Yeah, we're still in San Diego. Was it really fun? It was fun. I mean, it wasn't fun like, oh my God. I like how now it's dropped to 12%. My pitch skills suck. It wasn't like, oh my God, I need to sell this for $1, let alone $50. But fucking awesome. I don't know how to make the game work properly with Astrocade, says Darkness. I don't know why. It's pretty simple, but Google Gemini is a lot easier, actually. That's good, Mighty Silverback, that ChatGPT did that for you. But a lot of times it'll tell me, no, you can't do it. But anyway, all right. Tomorrow, it'll be the first time, and I don't think I'm going to be emotional about it. I don't. It's going to be the first time in 20 years that I've really sat and seriously played God of War. I think the last time I played God of War 2005, other than a stream test, was probably the February before it came out in 2005. And I don't know if I'll have an emotional response or not. I have no idea. I don't think I will. I think it'll be more of an intellectual response, but I am excited to go back and give it a play. And I'll tell you what, if that game holds up and it still plays great, even though it's going to be antiquated and whatnot, I think that's going to be pretty cool. I think that's going to be pretty cool to look at that and go, 20 years later, this thing could still bring people some fun. What if I hate it, says Fuzzy Tomato? Yeah. I mean, I'll give you my honest reaction. Absolutely. But that'll be tomorrow at 11 a.m. California time. I'll also, if you're a mod, you'll get in for free. Calypso's Colton Above gets in for free. And then if you're what's it called? Diet Coke Commander. You can get in next week for the video on demand of it. But what I was going to say though is, you know, I probably will play it twice. I'll probably play it once just to kind of absorb it. And then I'll play it again and I'll talk about it because I have a bunch of stuff I want to show you guys and tell you what it was going to be. And, you know, PK says Twist Metal Black still holds up. Does it? I imagine it plays. It's pretty difficult. The Game Boy, I mean, you can risk getting banned again. It's $20 if you want to change the background. Okay. Optimus says, I just beat your game in under 3 hours the other night on God mode. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that was a game that was meant to be finished, by the way. That was a game that was designed to be 12. It was like 8 to 12 hours, and I was very happy with that. I wanted you to finish it. I wanted you to see everything. I didn't want it to be hard unless you're playing on hard mode, which I can't beat it on hard mode. I sure as fuck can't beat the Challenge of the Gods. I may try to play it on hard tomorrow, assuming hard mode unlocks immediately. I don't even remember that. But if it does, maybe I'll try a run on hard and see how far I get, but I don't think I'm going to do that well. All right. Yeah, the beard's coming along. I'm not growing it on purpose. I'm just too lazy to shave it. So here's what I'll say. We are under 2 minutes or under 3 minutes away from this stream going members only. If you would like to become a member here at the Diet Coke Commando tier, it'll cost you $2.99. You get access to members only live chat streams on YouTube. You get access to the whole show, both live and video on demand. So hopefully we will see you in that membership tier soon. Okay. I love old games more than before. I'm in love with Onimusha right now, says Darkness. I love Onimusha, but when I got the HD version of it, I was very disappointed to find that there was that one puzzle in the cage, I think, or something, and it seemed random. And I'm like, I don't remember this puzzle being random, but probably fucking was. And, you know, it kind of stopped me from trying to play anymore because it was kind of a long way to go back to the checkpoint. I was like, I don't think so. How do you get a good seal on your CPAP mask? I mean, I don't know. It's got little elastic bands, and I just make sure it's tight enough that I can, you know, I don't feel there's any leaks, and it's real easy. Oh, you mean with the beard? That's a good point. I may have to get rid of the beard just for that, but so far it hasn't been a problem. It was in the past when the beard was really bushy, but this one's not too bad. Yeah, Doctor, I hope things are well with Gene as well. I really, really do. He's a good dude. He's a very good dude, and I'm hoping that you know, I have every expectation because I'm a hopeful guy and I know he's a fighter that he pulls through in a very quick and healthy way. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat for a minute. Okay, so we are definitely doing the future game show. Shoot the Shit. It's kind of been creeping up, but I don't think it's going to make it above. It's not going to make it where we need to get to. So I think we're going to do future game show, which was just yesterday. I haven't watched it. I hear there's some really good games in there. So what we'll do is I'm going to go make a hot chocolate once we go to this mode, and then we will take like 5 minutes, but we'll keep the stream running. And then we will start the future game show watch party. That's what we will be doing. We did not make, I mean, we still have a chance if we make it on the members version. We'll keep the EGM documentary thing up there. But if we don't make it today, we'll do it on the next stream. Or we'll try. We'll do it on the next stream. PG, what's what? You never heard of what? I don't understand. All right, there we go. We are going now to the members only stream.